and gentlemen, we have an industry speaker who's going to be joining us. We are mixing it all, and there are so many things happening. This is Audi 7, plenty of interesting sessions happening all across this platform right here. To introduce and to call upon our next industry speaker, I'd like to hand it over to Murli to give a grand welcome. Over to you, Murli.
Thank you so much, Sriram. I'm really glad to see the interleaving of people who have starting up their startups, and also somebody that have been part of the startups and entrepreneurial ecosystem for a little longer time. Really glad to be welcoming you, Mrinalini Shastry. Thank you so much for taking time. So Mrinalini is a founder and CEO of 6 Yards Plus, right? That's true. 6 Yards Plus operates at the cusp of culture, livelihoods, and loom craft. All three different buzzwords. Are allowed to hear about all these words from you, Mrinalini. Thank you so much, and the floor is yours.
Great. Thanks very much. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, great. So good morning, everyone, and thanks very much for giving me the opportunity to present at the prestigious TI Global Summit. As Murli just said, I'm Mrinalini Shastry, founder and CEO of 6 Yards Plus. We are a sari startup that operates at the cusp of culture, lifestyle, loom craft, and livelihoods. We bring all of these together with the objective of getting more women to drape more saris more often. It's really very simple. Why we do this is because it helps us share the power and the versatility of the sari with women of today. Typically busy, working, multitasking urban woman of today doesn't find the time and the energy for a sari. So we try to simplify that and take it to her. The second reason why we do it is because so much of our intangible culture and our tangible culture resides in our weaves and in our drapes. Why a certain motif is on a certain sari is actually, it's a whole story of a people. Or why a certain sari is draped a certain way. Why farmers in Andhra drape it differently from warriors in Maharashtra is the whole intangible culture piece, which if we lose saris, we lose along with it. Just like with food, it's part of our intangible culture. And most importantly, running something like this helps us expand markets for sustainable and artisanal products, which are essentially saris. So just a brief about me. I'm a company secretary and an MBA from the Indian School of Business. Post MBA, I worked for 16 years with the development sector. So with non-profits, with social enterprises, and with government. And largely my expertise is in livelihoods and in monitoring and evaluation functionally in the development sector. In 2017, I decided to combine my experience with craft and women's livelihoods, my business background, and my lifelong passion for saris and handlooms to come together and start 6 Yards Plus from my home with, I think, 11,000 rupees. Yes, that was my first investment into 6 Yards Plus. So currently, we stock about 50 weaves from about 12 states, and we're expanding as we speak. And just a small note there, a lot of us think of saris as occasional drapes, something that you wear for an event, something that you wear for a celebration. That only sustains a few of these really exquisite, exclusive weaves, like your Kanchi or your Banaras. And those clusters are thriving. Although they may have their own structural problems, they are thriving. What happens when we stop draping saris regularly is that your regular humble clusters, like if you go to Andhra Pradesh, every district will have its own weaving story, its own weaves and saris. Same thing with Telangana. Those are the humble weaves that we lose out on. Things. Goa has a weave. Did you know that? I mean, you'd only think of Goa as beaches and but they have a beautiful weave called the Kunbi, which we stock. So it's those humble weaves that we do. So we stock 50 weaves from about 12 states. We work with 10 women here full-time in Hyderabad, plus a network of over 100 weavers and artisans across the country for different purposes, because there's weaving, there's embellishment, there is so much more that one does. We've seen our revenues grow 6x in the last 3 years. And in select clusters, we've seen our supply chain relationships grow up even 25x. Like people I started with in a very humble tone have become really partners in our progress and growth. And we have been able to, pass on our growth to them, right? We currently operate in 3 cities, Hyderabad, Delhi, and Bangalore. And online, we operate through our own channels. We have our website and are very active on our Facebook and Insta and all that, WhatsApp sales as well. But we're also on Amazon, on Myntra and Agio very soon. So basically, we are trying to build for scale. I mean, for me, that has always been very important. Scale at sales and business level, and also scale at supply chain level. I'm happy to expand more on that in Q&A if you had questions. We have very robust partnerships, one with Reliance Retail on the sales side. They have a store called Project Eve. I don't know if you've heard of them. They are specialty women's retail stores, and the saris there are from us. We retail under 6 Yards Plus brand in the Reliance Retail stores. And we have a very strong relationship with Aditya Birla on the supply side, because we work on some really cool, futuristic, sustainable fabrics with them for saris. That's all part of our story to make the sari relevant, both as a product and as an experience to the women who are draping it, and to take it to them in formats that they're familiar with, so that you don't have to take your mother along and go to this specialty sari shop where people are flinging 25 saris in front of you, and you don't know, whether you're actually getting what you thought you'd be getting. So to cut through a lot of that and to simplify the whole buying experience, that's what 6 Yards Plus brings for young millennial Gen Z kind of women who really don't have they're very interested in weaves, interested in trying out drapes. If you just look at social media, you can see there's people doing the hula hoop in the sari, people doing jumps in the sari and all of that. But to give them an authentic brand that they will connect with and to bring it to them in environments that are familiar to them is what we're trying to do. So we do some very cool, innovative products like sari subscriptions, like surprise bags. So you don't know about a sari, but you can order it and we put it together for you. So your sari discovery experience, deepens, and things like that. This is where we are currently. We are a 100% women-owned and women-run organization. I'm a company secretary MBA. My head of product is a textile engineer and a designer. She's also a lifelong friend. My head of ops is a NIFT grad and a 10-year work ex with fashion retail. Her last jobs was with stores like Lifestyle and Agio, and then she's moved on to us. So essentially, I think we're the perfect combination of skills, of intent, and of, most importantly, execution. And we're trying to build the next global sari super brand from India, sort of trying to do for saris what a W did for kurtas, right? Just demystify it, simplify it, make it relevant. Through innovative product design, distribution, and experience, and through sustainable supply chains at scale. That's very important, because you can sell as much as you want, but unless you're able to service that, I don't think we'd be able to scale. So I think we really balance that very well. So please join us on this journey. Very open to whatever, to partnerships, to funding, to collaborations, networking. I'm sure we can find something in common. Men shopping for saris also we help. So because I don't see too many other women.
Mrinalini, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us and then talking about a lot of startups or companies talk about the product and service, but you're also talking about the impact, right? In terms of these humble weaves that could survive and the kind of industry that could be sustainable, and the name itself is unique, the 6 Yards and a Plus, which we wish you sell more and more, and then keep sustaining more and more as a flag bearer for the looms industry. Thank you so much, Mrinalini, for taking time and joining us. I wish you all the best for your company.